I'm recording this intro from my hotel bathroom floor. Basically, we did a hot tub stream recently. We ended up with the computer in the bathroom, and that's how things are. I've always wanted to share with you guys what it's like living with a persistent health condition. I've said a lot of times on my stream that I struggle with exhaustion, energy, and my overall gut health. So I've gone ahead and made a PowerPoint presentation detailing what it's like living with a perpetual illness or disease or whatever you want to call it, just some life stuff. People quite often come into my stream and ask if I'm okay or is there something wrong, because I frequently look pretty tired, exhausted, or something just not right. But the thing that prompted me to talk about this was recently I was in a Maori video, and his mum actually walked into his room and asked if I was okay, or maybe I didn't like making videos with him anymore. But in reality, during the video, I was having a health flare-up and I was just struggling to stay awake. Honestly, it feels pretty bad having people ask if I'm okay consistently, but I appreciate you guys looking out for me. So I wanted to make this video to give people insight into what it's like living with a consistent health condition, and maybe some people will find it relatable or just interesting. Enjoy the video.
Gerd. If you guys haven't heard of Gerd, gastroesophageal reflux disease. Last year, I went through some pretty stressful times in my life regarding relationships and career changes. And basically, I got piled on with a bunch of stress, a bunch of sleepless nights, and a bunch of problems that I had to deal with. From those problems started this GERD. And GERD, if you look at it, the highest reason that is theorized by scientists as to occur is stress. This, on the left side, is a normal esophagus. It's what connects your throat all the way down your esophagus to your stomach. Now, this is the problem right here. This is called the sphincter of your stomach. My sphincter does not work properly. So all this acid inside my stomach, one of the most acidic things that is naturally occurring in the world, comes up my esophagus and actually burns my throat. If I sleep the wrong way, if I eat the wrong foods, it's very likely that large amounts of acid go up my esophagus and sometimes even reaching to the base of my throat where I can feel it coming into my mouth. GERD, more like gay. Thanks, man. So, who also has GERD? Corpse husband has GERD. Hopefully, if my disease progresses, I will have a deep, sexy voice as well. A problem with GERD also is, if you don't take care of it, you may not get a very deep, sexy voice. Have you guys ever heard those football coaches that smoke too much? Come on, mate. Come on, you can do it. That's also what GERD can do. So maybe I'll go from sounding like I normally sound right now to someone like this. The biggest issues, chest pain. When I wake up, I'd say 70% of the days I have chest pain. It's because when you sleep, the acid goes from your stomach, goes up your esophagus, and it sits there and it burns away at your esophagus while you're asleep. Ways to combat this is sleeping elevated, which I do quite frequently. The next one is just showing what it looks like. So this is a normal esophagus. These ribs on this right side are pronounced a little bit less in this normal esophagus picture than it should be. But basically, a normal esophagus should be quite smooth. The esophagus is a muscle, and the way it works is as you swallow, all the muscles contract around the food that you're trying to swallow, and it pushes down into your esophagus. My esophagus was actually worse than this picture and more like destroyed, I guess, which is why I have such severe side effects at the moment. The next problem that I have with my esophagus is the breath. Unfortunately, no matter what I do, I'd say about 80% of the time I go outside, I have bad breath. It's regardless of how much I brush my teeth. I can brush my teeth, floss my teeth, eat no sugar, and I will naturally have bad breath. So when I speak, it carries the smell of my esophagus being burnt. When I talk to people, I try not to face them anymore. This is like the one thing that it actually does impact my life quite a lot. And that's why I like streaming so much, because I don't actually have to talk to anyone. But when I do IRL streams and I do streams with people, I get quite self-conscious because I know that there is potential that they can smell my breath, and it's fucking gross. It's terrible. The next problem is exhaustion. I've spoken about it, and this is the reason that it impacts my streams. I don't really ever stream for more than 4 hours because you guys will probably see in a lot of my VODs, by the end of things that I'm doing, I'm nearly falling asleep or nearly like laying back in my chair, and I'm not the same person. I was never any good at streaming for a long time anyway, but I could stream for 8 hours. I could stream for 6 hours. Now I get to around that 4 hour mark and I really start to die. And it's also not to do with streaming streaming as well, I have my jobs, I have to work out, I have to cook my own meals. I wake up, I do things for a few hours, and then I crash. The normal person can get up and do shit for 8 hours. I can basically engage my brain for 3 to 4 hours, and then I need a break. Acid, it just hurts. Future issues. What the fuck is this? Cell damage. This one is kind of the really scary one. If I damage my cells with my esophagus, I'm not gonna turn into Cell from Dragon Ball Z and become an absolute mad unit. If I damage my cells, it can cause a whole bunch of problems. Namely, the big one is cancer in my esophagus. It's much better than being a Cancer star sign because you don't want to be those people. And you don't want to even be interested in star signs at all. No, I love astrology. Uh-oh, we've angered them. Their Taurus rising is coming. Please, anyone, Taurus rising star sunshine, please do not kill me. How to fix it? What the fuck is this picture? What did I put this here for? Oh, I get it. This image was meant to represent stress. Basically, a way to help this is be less stressed. The only thing that really helps me be less stressed, though, is like watching Mark Rober YouTube videos. This is meant to represent a healthy diet. Fortunately, my gut and Gerd is inflamed by a lot of foods. I used to love garlic. Apparently, I'm not even meant to eat garlic anymore. Chilies. There's a lot of food that I just can't eat. The next thing, drugs, poggers. I have to take drugs. Obviously, it's not like some illegal drugs. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's called a PPI or a PPR or something. Basically, it's a proton inhibitor is what it's called. And apparently the way your esophagus contracts and detracts is via a thing called a proton channel or proton gate. Webcam has died because it's not charged. We gotta do what we gotta do. Country boys make do. Just rhyme do with do. That's why I'm a neuroscience major. Basically, I gotta take some drugs which make my esophagus stay closed instead of opening up and letting the acid destroy me. But it doesn't solve the problem. It just solves the symptoms temporarily. I don't know if I'm gonna have to take drugs for the rest of my life. I still have no idea. I'm still in the process of figuring this all out. The only thing that really is helping me at the moment get through the day is resting. And someone who hates resting, it irks me that that's the best thing that I've found that helps me. I just want to close it with the only thing that I have to say about it before we, I guess, finish talking about this topic is I actually got a lot of advice from a viewer called Garnbot. Garnbot actually has told me a lot about Gerd because him and I think his girlfriend also both really have struggled with Gerd and they both have it. So shout out to him. And he also makes shorts and clips on our shorts and clips channels. If any of you guys want to ask questions, ask away. Can you get cured? I don't know. A lot of the things that I've seen people say is you have to deal with it and have a diet and a lifestyle which reduces the impact of it. And a lot of people just get over it with age. Oh, fuck. Wait, I'm meant to be going somewhere in like 10 minutes. Thanks for listening to me about my Gerd.